Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in and welcome. This is gonna be a good video. If you are a little hesitant, a little on the fence, maybe a little skeptical, haven't decided if precious metals is right for you, this video is definitely for you. This guy on the Silver Forum, which, by the way, guys, you got to be a member on the Silver Forum. It is the world's largest precious metals forum. They have tons of giveaways you can buy and sell on here. You could trade. You can become a premium member. They have videos. It's a lot. You can message everyone. This is definitely, if you invest in a silver, you definitely got to be a member on here. This is not a sponsored post. They have sponsored a couple of my last giveaways, and but this is with just me simply just looking around on the site, just reading some stuff people are talking about, and it's great to conversate. You can learn a lot. I've learned a lot from this site. But anyways, so I was just browsing, and I saw this comment. It hit the nail on the head. So let's read it. Hello all. So I've been browsing the forum for a few hours now, trying to get as much info into my skull as possible in that given time. I see a lot of silver here, silver there. Do you have? Look what I have, my stack, and other request topics like this. But what I can't seem to find is this. 1. Why do people stack? 2. How does this play out when you want to sell? 3. What do you or who do you sell to? And if you answer with when there are sellers, there are buyers, you did not understand my question, which I'm definitely going to answer his question. 4, it's claimed that you secure your purchasing power. How so? If silver won't increase in value, then your premiums will leave everyone at a looser break even. 5, there is not a lot of indicators pointing to a soon-to-be financial crisis where fiat drops to zero. 6, no signs of stocks crashing. 7, silver does not seem to be a secondary income where your investment makes you money. Right now, bullion is a dormant investment with no option to sell with a gain. So he says, I'm very new to Silver World and have bought a few things here and there, but the more I look into it, I find myself struggling to see when and where the win of silver is. I like silver. I will keep buying silver, but I will not be using the money I first intended unless I find a reason to. And I need the brilliant minds of the community here to brainstorm with me. And he even says, I hope I'm not coming off as offensive. And this is the coolest thing. Tons of people responded. See, this is why you got to be a member on this site, because that is one of the hundreds of different threads of people, just talking, conversating, talking about good topics, right? That's why it's so important. If you're a silver stacker, you definitely have to be a member here. I'm not just saying that. I don't say stuff for no reason. I'm not paid to say this. I'm being honest. You have to be a member here. So anyways, Silver Flame. He posted this in 2018, obviously, because I don't think he would have asked the same types of questions if it was in today's time. See, back then, us silver stackers knew that this was going to happen sooner than later, but let's just jump into it. So, why do people stack? Well, there's tons of different reasons why, right? There's tons of different reasons why people stack. Some people are more of the SHTF survivalist preppers and want silver because they're gonna barter one day when the world hits the fan and apocalyptic. Some people invest for that reason. Other people, they just want to hedge against inflation. They know that the fiat dollar is losing purchasing power, so they want to put their money into something that holds its value, that has intrinsic value. Some other people are coin collectors, right? It's a hobby. Just like people collect baseball cards, some people like coins, numismatic coins. They like the American history of these coins. Some people, it's an investment strictly from just like Bitcoin or stocks, where they buy the dips and sell the tops. Some people, they do a little bit of everything, right? They like they like the hedge against inflation part of it. They like the coins, kind of like the collectible aspect. They do also worry about things coming, getting severe. So, that's where I fit in. There's so many different reasons why I stack. There's not just one given reason. So that's the first question. That's answered. So 2, how does this play out when you want to sell? Great question. Great question. Always think about how you're going to sell before you buy. Before I go on APMEX and click buy, I already think about how I'm going to sell that coin already. Because it's so easy to click buy, it's not so easy to sell. If you're not thinking about how you're going to sell that coin before you buy it, you're going to end up with a whole bunch of silver that you're not going to know what to do with. And that could be dangerous. So always think about how you're going to sell. And when you do sell, you have to have a time frame. Are you going to sell in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? And you got to know the time frame, because if you're going to sell in 5 years, you're going to be stacking different types of coins than you would if you're going to sell in 15, 20 years. There's different types of silver for different time frames. So if you're kind of just like up in the air, you got to figure out where your time frame is. You got to figure out your goal, your strategy, so then you can narrow it down and start buying coins that fit that narrative. So who do you sell to? And when they're sellers or buyers, no, he means who do you sell to? Let me put it like this. If you have bullion, coins that are close to spot price, American Eagles, Maple Leafs, just some bars, right? The just some stacking bars, Scottsdale, whatever. You're going to sell to your local coin shop. Why your local coin shop? Because he buys bullion. He looks at silver as silver. You got to understand this, though. He buys bullion. This is only a place you take your bullion to. Pandas, kookaburras, koalas, Queen's Beast series, any coin that has a premium, you will never take to your local coin shop. Why? Because he looks at silver as silver. He doesn't care about how rare the coin is, how many were minted, what the design is, how collectible it is, what you paid for it. He's looking at that coin saying that's 1 ounce of silver, and I'm going to pay for 1 ounce of silver. Even if you paid $20, $30, $40 premium, he's going to buy the metal inside of it, not how fancy or how rare it is. So you got to sell your higher premium stuff online on places like eBay, where you have a collector that understands that price and is willing to give you that price. If you take pandas and those types of coins to your local coin shop, you are going to lose so much money or miss out on a lot of potential money. So the next question is, it's claimed that you secure your purchasing power. How so? If silver won't increase in value, then your premiums will leave everyone at loose or even break even. See, this guy, you could tell he's a newbie. So, and I'm not saying that offensively. You can just tell he really doesn't understand how this works. So, you secure your purchasing power because over time, the dollar loses value. And just like 20 years ago, what you could buy with $20 is drastically less than what it is today, or drastically more than what it is today, right? And in 20 years from now, what you can buy today is going to be drastically more than what you can buy then. That's why back in the day, 20 cents could fill your tank. Nowadays, gas is not 20 cents, right? Back in the day, a pack of cigarettes was $1. Now it's like 11. See what I'm saying? The dollar's purchasing power is getting weaker. So you put your money, you transfer your money in silver. It's like a time capsule. If you put $10,000 in your bank account and another $10,000 in silver, so you have $20,000, you split it in two. In 20 years from now, that $10,000 in your bank account, it will be worth as much as like $1,000 today. But that $10,000 in silver will have held its value, and the coins will have appreciated as well. Even if spot price stayed the same, at least your silver has still held its value. And the point is, in 10, 20 years from now, spot price will definitely be a lot higher, especially understanding how the way the rate the economy's headed, how the dollar is affected, and what's about to happen, especially with the pandemic, but also silver scarcity, shortage, how valuable it is in industrial uses and as a safe haven. So, number 5, there is not a lot of indicators pointing to soon be financial crisis where fiat drops to zero. Well, he posted this in 2018. I could have told him back then that there definitely is, if he understands, how much debt we were in back then. We were still like 25 trillion in debt back then. It was still blatantly obvious that our fiat system was going to collapse. There were still a lot of problems, right? 2018 wasn't that long ago, so he must not have really been educated on the reality behind the scenes, because then he even says no signs of stocks crashing. So if I was back in 2018, I probably would have answered this a little different. Well, obviously, because now there's blatant signs of the stocks crashing. When we throw trillions of dollars into the economy, that's going to have an effect on the dollar. Because when we throw trillions of dollars into the economy, we have to then print more dollars to make up for that, which weakens the dollar. It oversaturates, it overfloods, it impregnates the dollar, making it more worthless. And the dollar is directly correlated to gold and silver. So when the dollar becomes more worthless, that pushes precious metals higher. And if you think that when we throw trillions of dollars into the economy, that that's not going to hurt the dollar and crash the markets, then I don't know what planet you live on, because that's obvious. That's what happens. It's always happened. Look at the 2008 credit crisis. Same exact example. Back then, stock market crash, recession/depression, billion-dollar stimulus led to $50 silver. Nowadays, recession/depression, stock market volatility, trillion-dollar stimulus, a global pandemic, the most controversial presidential election, green energy, which is also used for silver in photovoltaic cells. So if that led to $50 silver back then, imagine what it could lead to today with trillion-dollar stimulus instead of billion, and so many other things as well on the line. It could be a lot higher than $50. So silver does not seem to be a secondary income where your investment makes you more money. Right now, bullion is a dormant investment with no option to sell with a gain, and that's the point. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's hedging against inflation. Silver is a long-haul investment. Yes, you can make money in the short term, but it's not intended for that. You don't invest into silver like you would with Bitcoin or stocks. It's not day trading, looking at silver, going to your local coin shop, buying an ounce for this price, the next day going back and selling it, and then no, that's not the point. It's not the point whatsoever. You're putting your money into something basically like a time capsule, because in 10, 20, 30 years from now, it will drastically be different. Times will drastically be different. The market, the dollar will drastically be different, and then you can do what you want with it. It's financial freedom. We know that we don't want to keep our money in dollars because the dollar is crashing. The dollar is falling beneath. It's on its last leg. Dollar's lost 98% of its purchasing power, 44% in the last 20 years. Why would I want to keep my hard-earned money in something that is collapsing? I want to put my money in something that holds its value, which is precious metals. So you can see why information is so vital, right? This is why information is so important, because this guy, he wants to know, but he hasn't really found any of these answers. And imagine if he just started assuming or just thinking he was right. The stock markets aren't going to crash. There's no sign of it. These people are crazy. It's a secondary income. It's a dormant investment. Imagine if he stopped investing or started investing into something else, stocks or whatever, because he didn't do his research. I'm glad he asked this question, and I'm sure he's doing great now. He has 46 posts actually now, and that's because he asked. A lot of people just assume. Most people think they know all this stuff. They think people stack because we're crazy, want to go against the grain, rebellious, and we're just out there and we want to be different. No, there's real reasons. There is real reasons. So I'm glad that, he asked this. Hopefully his questions were answered. You could see a lot of different people responded. And this is purely why you need to be on the Silver Forum, because there's moderators, right? The chat's clean. It's really cool stuff. Like this is a big post. There's 3 more pages. You saw all this. There's 3 more pages just from this topic. There's hundreds of these pages. So it's definitely a place you want to go, especially if you're a beginner. But there's so many giveaways, right? There's so many giveaways. I announced 3 in the last 2 months, and it's not just a little giveaway. These are expensive coins, really, like heavy ounces of silver. So it's just a place to have fun, right? Sometimes YouTube, the content, it gets stale, or maybe there's only so much, or if you want to meet new stackers or meet new perspectives, because here's the thing. There's only so many YouTube channels, and sometimes in the comments, it's hard to get your point across or talk to someone. So this is a perfect place where you can engage, in conversation, and you can really take your stacking strategy to the next level. So, and this is not sponsored by them. This is me just literally telling you this because I believe it. So anyways, if you enjoyed this video, if you have any questions like this, you can also answer along, because sometimes everyone has a different opinion. Everyone's been stacking for different time frames. Everyone has a different perspective. They've been stacking for different reasons. So let me know how you would answer these questions. Maybe if you didn't agree with something I said, let me know your point of view, right? Keep it in a respectable fashion. But I'd love to hear, what you guys, or how you guys think you would have answered these questions, or if you agree, right? Do you agree with basically what I'm saying? I mean, this is my own opinion, but yeah, I think I answered these questions to the best of my ability for this guy, and this is how I would respond if he asked me this personally. That's how I would have responded to him. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was educational, informational, at least entertaining, make sure to smash the like button. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.